The human race is meant to be responsive and not reactive. Yet, in the modern world, we find that we humans have become much more reactionary rather than responsible in how we view the world around us, in our thoughts, in our words, and in our actions. We find a lot of reactionary behavior. Reactions are basically at the spinal cord level. They are our subconscious, unconscious, habitual patterns coming out of the samskaras and vasanas, those latent tendencies and unconscious habits. And so we react without even being conscious of what we are doing. Most of the time we react to people, to situations, to events, and then we regret much later. How many times we find that we send someone a reactionary email and then wish we could unsend it when we think about it much later. The spinal cord level of behavior is reactionary, it is reflexive. You hit me, I hit you back. You say something good, I say something good back to you. You poke me, I poke you. You give me a Facebook like, I give you one. You don't, I defriend you. All of this is reactionary. It is at the subconscious, unconscious, subhuman level of behavior. Yet, if we can give a small gap, between stimulus and response, we find that the stimulus can then travel up the spinal cord into the brain at the cortical level, those human aspects of us, and then we start to respond rather than react. Giving that small gap gives us the time for the impulse to reach our highest level of consciousness, and then we choose how we are going to respond to the person, place, thing or event. This is an important concept in yoga. It is known as vairagya, giving that gap between stimulus and response. When we can maintain that gap, and the gap may be different with regard to different people, different places, different events, but we consciously must develop that gap which prolongs the time we have between our responses, or rather reactions, to the stimuli. The moment we start to consciously analyze what is it that we are reacting to, what is it that we need to respond to, we move from that unconscious, subconscious, subhuman, reactionary behavior into a much more human and humane aspect of responsive, responsible behavior. And the more we consciously respond to things that are happening in our life, the more we choose to respond, well, with that we develop the ability to respond. That ability, as Swamiji would say, is responsibility. Developing a sense of responsibility by responding in the appropriate manner to things that happen around us, to us, and within us. As we grow in responsibility, we start to fulfill our dharma, that responsibility of being a human being. Remember, next time there is a stimulus, do you want to react or are you going to respond? The choice is yours.